Welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. I'm your host Mikey, and today we're going to explore a granny square. And this granny square is unlike any other granny square that I've ever done. This granny square is very unusual for me in the sense that you don't continually go into the same revolution. So if you're normally going in granny squares, you continue to circle and circle and circle. This one here, there's actually a seam line right here. When you go and look at the pattern, and I'll provide that in the more information of this video, what's going to happen is that we're actually stopping and starting in the center of a line right here. And what's going to happen is that we're going to turn our work and then go back in the same direction. So this is almost like a steering wheel where you can't continuously turn it. Eventually you have to go back the other way because you hit a stopping point. So we're going to just continue to rotate and then come back like this. Okay, and so when this happens, what you can see is that you have the front side and the wrong side appearing on one side of your particular afghan, and you can see very defined rows when you're going all the way around. If you're changing colors, what I would recommend is change it every 2. So you got 1 and 2 and then 1 and 2, and you will have the most amazing, interesting looking granny square, and it's something that I've never seen done until this project. This is part of Stitch-cation, where we're practicing new stitches in order to use it as a sample to make a sampler for Stitch-cation. So let's get started right now. So let's begin our granny square. I'm just going to leave a bit of a straggler edge there. I am substituting the hook for a size 6 or millimeter size J. In Stitch-cation I used a 5mm size I, and then the pattern calls for a 4mm or size G. So let's begin at this moment and let's get started. So this starts off just like a regular granny square. So we're going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, and we want to form a ring, so we're just going to come into the very start chain. So just slip your hook in, grab the yarn and pull through, and you have the very start of your granny square. So let's begin. We're going to work our way up and we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3, coming into the very center of that same ring, and we want to double crochet 2 more times. So every side will have 3 double crochets before turning a corner. To turn a corner we are chaining 2, 1 and 2, and then come into the same center and double crochet 3 more times. Just like that. Turn the next corner, so chain 2, 1 and 2, and coming back into the center. Okay, and then chain 2 and then coming back into the center. So you have all 4 sides of your project done. Okay, and to finish it off you need to chain 2 and join with the slip stitch. So this is exactly how a regular granny would work. So this is where I've left you. I've just trimmed off that center out. It was all hidden, so it was all good. So this time normally what we would do is just continue to start and keep going in the same revolution, but we're not going to. We're going to turn our work. So okay, so this is the right side, this is the wrong side. So we're just turned our work. This is unusual for us to remember, so let's just keep an open mind. So we're going to chain 3 first. 1, 2 and 3, and it says to 2 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets into this next space in the corner. So let's just do that. So we're going to 2 double crochet, okay, chain 2 and 3 double crochet. Okay, then you chain 1. And so we do the same thing into the next corner piece because it's already here. So essentially this granny square can be grown as big as you want to a full-size afghan, to the size of whatever you need, because it'll always stay in balance. So 3 double crochet, chain 2. So even though we're using going on the wrong side, which is the difference here, it doesn't matter. You can still grow this as big as you need it to go. So chain 1, next corner. So the biggest difference is going to be coming right up, and I'm going to be changing color as well. I figured why not, right? We'll only live once. Have something cool and fun. You can change colors as often as you want to or as little as you need to. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. Makes it a lot more interesting if you ask my opinion. So we're just going to continue going all the way around, and then chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So we're on the last corner, and you can see that we normally would probably just chain 1 and then finish off this first corner, but it's already done, so we're just gonna chain 1 only, and then just slip stitch to the top at the beginning of the chain 3. In this case I'm going to change color, and then what we're going to do is that we're going to turn this around again and turn it the other way so that we are crocheting on the other side. To change color, all you're just going to do is just pull the loop through like this, okay, and then you're just going to use that string and just weave through the top of the yarn. Just weave it through, and what's going to happen is that I want you to get back to this corner, because you know that everything works in corners, and so if you can get all these corners to work around this string, it'll trap it in permanently for the rest of its life. So just do that, and then when we come back I'm going to show you where to join the next color on and where to continue at that time. So I'm now ready, and this is where I finished off, and I weaved in my ends this way. So now we have to turn it first. So this is what you can do. You know that this is where you did the slip stitch, so if you didn't change your yarn when you turned it, you would know it would be here. Before you turn, what I would strongly recommend is that you attach your yarn exactly where you have finished off before. And to attach it, I would recommend a slip knot, just like so, and then pull it through. So when you go to turn this work, you will be ready and into the same position that you want to go. So moving up to round number 3, it's very, very simple. What I would recommend, see this straggler and the yarn leading to the yarn ball, just pull it through the first one and then let the straggler just drop, and then 2 and 3. So chain 1 with the straggler, chain 2 and 3 without, and you're going to put in 2 more double crochets into the same spot. And you see how I'm trapping in this underneath? It just went right underneath the stitches, just like so. So the corner is, every time you grow this around, the corner gets farther and farther away from each other. So every time you're in between the corners, you're always going to chain 1 to separate from one section to another. Now we're going to do our first corner, and it is 3 double crochets. So I grabbed, see this is the straggler from that pink. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to bury it underneath. So we're putting in 3 double crochet, and then chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. You know, your method on attaching yarn and etc., there are standards, but you have to do what works for you. My biggest thing when I was learning to crochet, that I would always have these god-awful knots, and then if I was trying not to be if I was not too careful, then my work would start falling apart. So I've just instinctively chained 1, because I'm now reaching to the next gapping space, which is in between a corner, and then every gapping space is going to have 3 double crochets in. So this is just like a granny square. The only difference is that the way that we're turning in between each of the revolutions, we chain 1 and then go into the next square. So continue to do that same configuration going all the way around, and when we come back we'll slip stitch. I'm not going to change the color, because I think this one, because of the way the lines work, I would recommend probably changing the color every 2 revolutions and not every one. But again, that creativity is up to you. You can decide what works for you, because you are the artist within yourself. And continue to go all the way around. When you get all the way around, you're going to chain 1 first before doing the slip stitch to the top at the beginning of the chain 3, like so. So you're just going to slip stitch. Okay, so this would have technically been on a corner on other traditional granny squares, and so you just got to tighten a few things up and good to go. So let's begin. We're going to turn our work again, so we're just going to turn. And see, this gapping space is right in our way. So this is perfect. So this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to chain 3. You already know how to do this. And then there's going to be 2 double crochets into the same space. Like so. Now we work our way. So we chain 1, get to our first corner. And the corners are 3 double crochet, 2 chain, 3 double crochet. So I told you, well, I promised you that you can make these Afghans any size you want. See, you can. Everything is staying absolutely flat, it's staying in balance, it's perfect. So after you get that done, chain 1, and now you have 2 gapping spaces. So essentially on this particular project you can actually look at the pattern that I provided in the more information for Stitch-cation. You can actually count the number of rows, or you can follow in the pattern as well. And it's a very simple and easy way to make a granny square, but have a little bit of a different look because of where you're attaching it, but also because you're turning your project as you're going within each round, and because of that it creates a really interesting look as you're doing it. So on behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, thank you so much for joining me, and stay tuned for more free ideas and stitch work here on the crochetcrowd.com as well as Red Heart. We'll see you.